And then I also started kind of doing my learnings around it, which is pretty interesting. So I'll have to create a list of resources that I'm referring, but it's pretty interesting how vibe coding, as in the word is vibe coding, when you work with AI to kind of code with it, and how powerful it is once you start kind of putting up details into it. Now, if you guys remember, Kamal few weeks ago agreed to help to kind of write up a design document for I forgot what he was thinking about, this school thing or something, and he did reply me last week, but for a different thing completely altogether. So he replied me with this called multiple discount terms in Business Center. Okay. So he's saying that somehow Business Center need to have a dynamic payment based discount, which is not what we were thinking, but let's maybe utilize this as we talk about it. And then we'll also look at the MCP thing that we were talking about. It was for Microsoft Learn MCP, I guess, and then we'll see how we kind of integrate that in your vibe coding example that we were talking about. Okay, hey Ratnesh, how are you? Hey Rahul,
Hey, hi, Saurav. Good. How are you?
man.
Hello,
Hey Rahul. Okay, so before we move
hello.
forward, hey, hey Rahul. Before we move forward, is there any other questions that is important? And if there are any questions, I guess we'll take them first, and then we'll get into if there is no questions into this. No generic questions. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we did explore this last week, but we didn't went into the details. Then I was doing some learnings around it. So there are three options when you kind of get into the Copilot option inside your VS Code. One is ask, which is typically that you go and you ask a question, and then it kind of responds any Copilot, how any Copilot responds, right? Uh, you can also ask it to edit, which is you are on a file and you want it to do certain things on that file, then you use the edit mode. And then last but not least is the agent mode that we'll be using going forward also. So agent mode can do multiple things, multiple requests at the same time without you doing anything, more or less. Now, I don't know how common it is with the developers or with the companies, but there are different models available. Now, the standard models, which is GPT, I guess 4.1, which is for free, hopefully, is available for everybody by default, but then you can have premium model available if needed. And then these models come up with a cost, and then you can also add new models if needed. And then you'll be able to pick and choose which model works best for you. Okay. Um, so that's the one thing. Now let's start, because I was looking at VS Code and things are changing super fast into it. So when I was looking at it, I found a new option here to set up a new workspace with Copilot. So let's see what it does. I haven't done anything, and it says new here as soon as I clicked into it, and I'll say okay, new project for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Okay. Hopefully, I haven't tried it yet. I was just looking at it, but it's now going to create a new folder, and it needs a permission to create it. So let's do that, and let me pick somewhere, let's say on D drive. Let's create it here. Okay, so now it's creating a new workspace. Okay, what is this? Okay. Okay. Do I need to open that workspace? Okay. Open. Where is that open file? I guess. Let me see if it is getting created here. Okay. Let me see if I find something. I don't think it created anything today, but it should do something. Let me try again. Okay. Empty folder as a workspace to continue workspace creation. Okay. And let me pick somewhere where it can write, maybe into the documents. I'm trying to create a new folder. Let me drag it here. Okay. I'm trying to create a new folder. Vibe demo. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's here. Now using create new workspace. I'll have to create a new AL. Okay, continue. Okay, let's say continue setup. Let's see what it does. So now it's creating a new AL project, hopefully, and says I'll create this getting setup info. It is checking that do I have the required extension available, which it did check that AL language extension is already installed. So now that's good, and now it created a app.json that's needed. Okay. Interestingly, it put the ID ranges from 50,000 to 50,099, and it chose version 19 for some weird reasons. Okay, maybe the reference of the documentation that it is taking is pointing it to 18.0, which is pretty old. Okay, now it's creating a demo, customer demo file somewhere inside source. Okay. Now it's creating a page for it. Oh, that's going pretty much far than I was expecting it. Now it says that I need to fix the naming convention. Okay. Okay. So it is doing something. It did create a AL package. I don't think it downloaded the symbol yet. But then to download symbol, it need to create a launch.json. So let's wait for it. It's doing some code units and all. Why it is doing all that? Send welcome email. Okay. It created a table. It created the setup table. No references found yet. Doing something. It created a list page, and hopefully it added it to the table also. Okay. Adding code into it. Okay, I just wanted it to create just a sample table. Oh, it did create the VS Code folder and the launch.json, and it is pointing it to some weird place. On the settings.json, nice. It did add the code analyzer for on-prem, for PTE, and increment build, code analysis enable. This looks good. and now it's creating a readme file for this particular project, which is needed for source control. What is this? Copilot will create the task argument. Let me see what it is doing for that. There's the task.json. Now this is something I don't know what it is doing here. Okay. So instead of creating a hello world, it's kind of creating a fake extension more or less, with the permission, with the code units, with the table. Nice. Did add the git ignore, which is good, but it's not an AL, as in it has AL, but then these temporary files. Okay, it did add some extra things into it. Okay, continue. And Omar, we were talking about that permission every time, right? So I was kind of reading about it. So inside the VS Code, there is no way where you can say that, okay, this will not be done, this will be kind of automatic permissions will be given. So for things where it has to run commands in terminal, you will have to give a permission to it. Okay, so let me clean this up. We don't need this table, but let's have a look what it created. And for the time being, I'll just keep everything so that we can have a look on it. This save mode is, okay. So let's have a look what it did. It created a table which looks nice. There is no prefix because I was not expecting it to kind of share that. It has the next number series concept to find the number series and all. So let's kind of leave this for a while. I'll just delete everything from the source folder. And anyone at any given point of time, if you have any thoughts, just stop me there. That's okay. Okay, so the repo is more or less set up. I'll just delete this task and rest I'll keep. Okay, I don't like it to set dependencies to 19.0. Maybe learn with us as we do that. So let's set it to 25, and I don't need the context. Show my code as legacy. I don't know why it is still adding this. And runtime is 14. Okay. Let's go to launch and let me clear the credential cache and then map it to our server, which is BC26 demo. Okay. Let me just quickly add a configuration. Seems a lot of work to be done again, but okay. Let me download symbols to begin with. Okay. Now what you see on the after AL package, there is a folder which is Copilot-instruction.md. Now this is one of the file that you should have while you are doing vibe coding, so that you can instruct Copilot based on this documentation, right? You can have different structure, you can place your prefixes, everything that you need, and based on my understanding and my readings, this is best in this MD format. So it is it picked it up from here somewhere. Let's have a look into this. So this is a GitHub Copilot-instructions.md. Now what it is doing, it is generating the details about how you should be coding for an AL project, because I said that we'll be doing it based on the Business Central or the Dynamics 365. Now if you look at it, it always says that dependencies should have a dependency on base and system application, because wherever this documentation is written, it says that the target version will be 19. I should change it to 26, and then AL runtime becomes 14. And this, what you see auto suggest, is also a Copilot feature, because it says the next edit. So it understands that when you say 26 here, that automatically brings the runtime to 14 or 15.0, right? Here are the naming conventions. So if you want to change it, you can just change it based on your need. Okay. Now I'll add one section into it in the same format and say prefix, and then all fields added in table and page extension will use let's say, oh, it's suggesting, so let's change it to SDH for the time being. Okay. Okay, all field added in table and page extension. What else we think is needed? Yes. Okay. Field captions should not have the prefix. Okay. Any other thing that you can think of while doing AL development that you, let's say, talk to a fresher or a new person, that remember these rules while you're building? So this is kind of that set of documentation where you're telling it that whenever you do it, make sure that you remember these rules. And the good thing is that you have to define it only once, and you can keep adding into it as you see that, oh, I missed this. But whenever we'll use this for building a project, it will always remember these rules which you have set, and will always use them. Any other thing that I'm missing? For prefix, I guess this is all. And I don't think that the dependency is required. It automatically says here that application area is required, page list document are required, primary key and proper documentation, code quality. So it does check that. Okay. Hopefully nothing else. Let's create one more file here so that we have the we'll have to convert this what was shared by Kamal into an MD document. So let me see if there are some online converter to do that, because I don't want to do it manually. Text file to MD. Okay, there are tools, seems. So this is the requirement document which Kamal prepared, and people who were not here on a week before, we were talking about what examples we should take, and then Kamal, one of the Business Central community members, said that he'll prepare some kind of sample example, and then we'll use it. So this is the file that he created, and it's around implementing dynamic payment based discount in Business Central. So this document outlines and all, and I can share this file if needed to see what it is doing. And let me try to change this as markup. Okay, so here is the file document.md. I should be able to kind of cut this from here and place it in here somewhere. Okay. And let's say it's call it as extension design. You can call it anything. I'm just thinking about it. Okay. So now we have the rules that we want the Copilot to follow, and then we also have a, oh, this is a plain text. What is this? This doesn't look like an MD file. Anybody else know where we can change that?
Can you check in the I love PDF?
I love PDF will
The
have
I
it.
love PDF.
Let me see.
I think it's there.
Okay, Word, text, PDF, edit, sign, watermark, organize. No, it's all PDF. I don't think here is anything, but let's see if we find anything else. Cloud convert.
Let's see.
Output style, markup down style for GitHub, let's say. And let me select the file, the text file, which I have. And let's do a conversion. Okay, seems as I've done something. Let me see what did I've done. Yes. Okay, nothing much, but let's use this for the time being. Okay, I'll just replace this file. Let me delete this. And let me grab that file from downloads and place it in here. Okay. Let's assume this is the document for the time being. Okay. Now once you have done that, there is another thing which have been recently added. So let's kind of go back and talk about it. One is that you will have to define the instructions that Copilot should remember while it is coding on your behalf. Second is your functional requirement document. It might not be in the right format right now, but I'm pretty sure everybody can work on it and build this. The third and the important thing which has been announced in the last week is that you can use a Microsoft Learn MCP. Now, the Microsoft have recently added an MCP server, which is Model Context Protocol server for Microsoft Learn. Now, what does that mean? That means whenever AI will be kind of trying to write the code for you, if you link your VS Code with the Microsoft Learn, it'll use all the knowledge that is available in the Microsoft documentation to code for you. Now, think about you not knowing anything about AL code, more or less, for writing extensions for Business Central. Plus, or the other example is that you have gone through the detailed documentation that Microsoft have written for everything. There is a huge difference between how you will write before knowing it versus after knowing it. In the same way, if you would like to utilize the Microsoft Learn docs for not just for Business Central, but in general for any Microsoft ecosystem language, then you can just include this MCP server inside your VS Code. How you do that? You have to just kind of connect to this endpoint, which is microsoftlearn.com API/MCP. Once you do that, it'll just be available. Now at this time, there are no charges for it. Hopefully that remains in the same way to the best of my knowledge. But if it changes, that's just that cost that gets added into it. Now, So you can't directly use that endpoint as you are seeing it here. What you'll have to do is you'll have to come here and search for MCP something. Yeah, MCP add server. Now this may not be the only MCP server that integrate with your VS Code. You can have different based on whatever programming language you are using, or if you have a better source of information that you would like to include. Let's, for example, you are doing something, let's say on some other thing, some other programming language which is also integrated with part of your AL coding, then there will be MCPs available for those programming language. So you just need to search those and then add those. So there are options to run a local command that implement the MCP protocol, and it says HTTP. So let's use the URL that we have, and you click enter. Then it tells you to give it a name. You can change the name if you need it, and then it tells you where you want to use it. You want to connect it to global, which means all workspaces which are available, which you will be using locally, or only want to make it available to this workspace. Now eventually, as we will learn and start using Copilot in a better way, everybody will surely turn it into a global mode, so that any extension they are working, they can just use this. But if you just want it for this project, you can just choose workspace. Once you do that, it adds an MCP JSON inside your VS Code folder, and then it tells you the name of it. Here you see the status running. You can restart it, you can stop it if needed. So these are the options that are available. So let's see what the output looks like. Okay, nothing happening right now, but it's running at this moment. You can stop it if needed, and so on and so forth. User input used for defining user input prompts such as free string input or choice of several options. I haven't explored this option, but there will be something else associated with it. Okay, so we have done three things. We have added the instructions, the rules more or less for Copilot to say, remember these rules while you're doing things. Then we have added a requirement document, which is here, and at the end we have also integrated it with the MCP, Microsoft Learn MCP. So more or less it should be ready. Okay, let's see what it does. Now while you are here in the context, and I like to clear the chat because then I don't want to see all this, so there should be an option to, how do you clear the chat?
You can create a new one.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so once you are here, you choose your model, you choose the agent mode here, and then you can add the context to it. Now context is what whatever you are doing, what instructions you want it to follow. So here are the options: file and folder, instructions, MCP resources. If you have screenshots, problems, symbols, whatever it is, you can just add all these things. So I know that I have an MCP, so I'll add that. I know that I have a requirement document, I'll add that. And then I have an instruction document, I'll add that. Anything else that I can add? Okay, maybe files and folder, and that would be nothing. I don't want to do that. Let's see. Okay. The file name should be smaller, I think so, but I can just copy it for now. Okay, let's see what happens. So now it's using the references that I have used, and it's now saying that requirement document, and now it's examining the current workspace to add the solution. So it read the workspace, it read the app.json, it read the source folder, and that's where it starts doing that. So first it says that I'll create the custom table for payment discount rules, table extension for customer, pages for managing discount rule, and code unit for business logic. So I think it's time that we read what was the requirement document. Okay, let me just do this here. Okay, let's see if we can read this. Okay, while this is doing things in the background, hopefully there are no confirmation dialogues waiting. Yeah, so we'll see that. So the requirement document says dynamic payment. Okay, this is pain every time I'm doing this. Okay, the conceptual design of implementing a dynamic payment based discount system within Business Central. The goal is to allow businesses to offer tier discount to customer based on how many days after the invoice posting date a payment is received. This functionality extends beyond standard Business Central capabilities and require custom development. Before diving into the custom solution, it's important to understand how it handles it. So it talks about payment term. That there is a discount if you pay after a certain date. Then there is line discount, invoice discount, and the limitation is multiple tier discount. So the conceptual design that he's saying is to achieve the desired functionality, we'll need to introduce new data structure and custom logic. The first one is table extension and a new custom tables. We'll create a new custom table to define discount rules and potentially extend existing tables to link these rules. The first one is custom table, payment discount rule header. This table will define a set of payment discount rules. Okay, so did it create the payment discount rule header? Okay, it did create a line table. Oh, this is a card page header table. Okay, so let's see what it is doing. It says, and remember in the rules I have said that use the prefix SDH and don't use it on the caption, so it remembers that. It added a code, a description, and still deciding what fields he need to set. So applies to, it's an enum. Okay, then there's a blocked for rule, when it was created, who created it, and then on insert it sets up the creation by and created date, and then on delete it deletes the lines that are there. Okay, sounds good. On the line table, it says the header rule code more or less, the line number which is an integer, day after the invoice which is after how many days that's of the invoice posting date it gets triggered, and here it is validating that days after invoice already exists for this. Okay, so it is not allowing you to have the same lines of rule for the if you have the same days of invoice. Then the discount percentage, description, minimum amount, maximum amount. Okay, and then it's rule number, line number, and then there is a key also, gets the line number, which is just checks and gets the line number. So till now it looks good. On the list page, it created the list page based on that, which is this, and it added a action for customer list and this. Okay, on the subform list part, it is adding a repeater with all the fields that were expected from it, and the card page is, there's a general tab for all the fields that it is needed, and then there is a detail tab. Okay, and then there is a line tab which is linked with the header. There are action to copy from other rule, which is nice. I don't think it was written or mentioned. And then there is a customer list, so stick on customer, I guess, at this moment. Let's look at the enum that it created. It says all customer, specific customer, and customer price group. Copilot has been working to fix a problem. It can continue to iterate or refine you the prompt. What is the problem? There seems a problem, but let's have a look. Okay. So on the customer card page, it added after payment term code this field action, field access, and then on the action it gave an access to it. Here it created that field, and this is the enum. Now here I'll come to that later. I guess here it is getting confused somewhere. So let me see what is the problem here. Okay, it's getting one confused about which one is correct, and I guess the enum is called SDH payment disk applies to. So why there is a confusion with this? Okay, so the permission thing is an error here now because that field has been set and applies to this. Okay, now what's the error here? I don't see an error, so let me just keep this file. Okay, let's keep this, and unless you keep this is all rollable. You can just undo things that it's doing, and you can just live with that. Okay, here I would like to kind of first add permission to it. Okay, that kind of sorts all the issues. Now this is where we were stuck last time also, so let's pay attention to this, what it has done. Let me accept it so that we can see it. Okay, so it created a function to process payment discount on customer ledger entry and applied customer ledger entry. Okay, now if there is a payment rule header, payment discount header, posted sales invoice, days after invoice, if find rule, then it gives a discount amount. If it is less than 0, then otherwise it creates a discount credit memo. But where it is interfacing with the base, I guess that's where interesting is. Okay, here is it's where it's failing. It says customer ledger entry apply posted document. Is there a coordinate like this? Oh, when you do an application, payment application. Okay, on after post apply customer ledger entry. Let's have a look. Customer post apply customer ledger entry. So it picked this, and then what it is trying to do here is process payment discount. And why it is not understanding this part of it, let's see. Okay, and this is applied customer ledger entry. Something is wrong here. There is no applied customer ledger entry. Now that's the thing it's not understanding, I guess. Let me go back and let it be. So it needs an applied customer ledger entry to process the payment discount, which is the customer ledger entry of the invoice that has been paid, and this is the payment one. But I don't think that way it happens here, because till now the payment has not been posted, so there is no payment entry. It's creating that entry here, and from where this function is called cust post apply. Oh, it's a local function, so it might be called somewhere here. Here it is called. This is a function. Oh no, this is the procedure apply. So when you do an apply, it calls on post customer application, which then creates a journal line, and then it posts here. Okay, and it is using this function. So there's the journal line which has been applied. Journal line customer legibility post apply. The customer legibility of the new application should be applied to. Yeah, but it doesn't return you the created entry, right? Okay. So without this, it cannot proceed here. So it again failed on the event subscription side. Any thoughts of how we can kind of bypass the event subscription logic? Because it has written everything. I guess it's getting stuck here where it is expecting the applicable entry. Journal line, why it returns journal line? Now that's another thing. Does it modifies it anywhere? No. Finish posting journal line, and then nothing else. Let me see what it tries to do. But in the meantime, I was expecting it to kind of stuck on the event subscriber, because last time when we tried this, it also stuck at this point. In the meantime, based on the based on the design document that was provided to it, it was able to create a basic outline of the extension for you. It did create the tables for you, the pages for you, even the procedures that are needed to process that payment. So the only thing that's left for human brain to process is to find the right event that need to be subscribed, and then call the right methods which are being already built in. It's now introducing some new objects here, so we'll have to see that. Oh, he created a setup table. What is this for? It's a discount setup, and then surely there is a page associated with it. Okay, now what it is thinking, what is this move item? Okay, move it. Okay, it updated the permissions which are needed. Okay. Okay, because it was not able to automatically find the right event, what it did is it created this manual process payment discount. Oh, now that's a little bit off. What is the menu extension? Okay, something went wrong with him. So it's just creating that. Now it's creating a role center extension. What's here now? Rules and the payment discount options. You can't compile it, so leave that. I'm not doing on-prem so that you can do an alc.exe. That's something that you cannot do directly. Okay, let me just it's now doing the final things, which is updating the readme file for it, or maybe creating a new readme file for it. So what do you think, guys, at this moment? I'll still review the event subscriber piece, what it has written. But other than that, because event subscriber, we were having problems even the last time. So I'll still on that stand where event subscriber is still a problem. Let me see that code unit, what it has done. So, okay, it created a separate function of manual process payment discount, which is not being triggered anywhere, which is not being referred anywhere. And it is expecting both the invoice customer ledger entry and the payment customer ledger entry number at that point. Okay. And what it is doing with the create payment discount credit memo, that I would like to see. Okay, sales header, it creates a credit memo, and but for discount, why you will create a credit memo? And it does post that. And it takes the GL account from the discount GL account. Okay, let me keep everything at this moment. Let's have a look onto it. Okay. For the timing, let's minimize the chat for a while, and let's see. There are so many errors, it seems, at this moment. Okay. Oh, there are 3 different permission sets: 50,000, 50,001, and 50,000. Okay, now this went a little bit haywire with this. That created 3 payment discount permission sets. Okay. Yeah, you cannot have multiple permission sets into one extension. So let me just copy this, put it here for a while. And I guess went haywire at the moment when it got stuck with that event subscriber, because till then it was doing pretty well on things. But as soon as it's getting into event subscriber, it is kind of getting lost at that moment, it seems. Okay, so let's just remove this file. Hopefully this solves all the problems. Okay, do I need to reload this? Maybe. Yeah. So with the permission, it went haywire after the things were changed into with that extension that we were talking about, or event subscriber that we were talking about. But other than that, it did prepare this, and then also an install and config documentation into your README, which says how you install this, what permission you need to assign, what setups you need to configure, how you need to create discount rules, and here's also an example, and then how you assign those to customer. Does anybody would like to test it? I'm pretty sure it is not working from a code perspective, because the code unit is compiling, but it's not working, it seems. Because this particular event, or the function that it has created, it has 0 references. So everything else may work, but it's not being triggered from anywhere. Okay, it's taking a lot of time, so let me just clear this for a while. Okay, sounds fair. Why it's referring the same page again and again? Why there are 3 instances of this page? This all is permission, but no, this is not Copilot. This is my machine doing something odd at this moment. Should I reload? Let's see. Okay. Okay, so now tell me your views about this. This just kind of, whatever it could have done, it, I guess, at this moment. From creation of objects to trying to write the code for the thing, which it failed for sure at the end. But in summary, how much time would have taken to kind of build this baseline of all these things, of these tables, pages, and reports? Not report, no reports are here, but yeah. It'll take some time on my machine, because I guess this folder where I've created this folder is synced with my OneDrive, and then OneDrive takes some time to kind of delete older files. Otherwise, everything else is compiling. I don't think that the compilation is a problem here. But yeah, I would like to know your guys' opinion at this moment. What is this menu extension? I don't know what I was thinking at this point to create a menu extension, because there is no such object called menu extension. Guys, any thoughts?
I think it's good if we get some base structure as well uh, with this functionality, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what my idea is, that all the manual work that's needed to kind of do this. I'm pretty sure that
Mhm.
there's a good amount of review that's required for what it is doing at this moment. But if my review is taking, let's say, 45 minutes, and all this kind of creation takes me 4 hours, then those 45 minutes are best utilized than manually doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so anything else that we would, as in, it's all about how much I guess you do it and how fine tuned you do your instructions document and the design document. But what we guys want next week, or let me see, yeah, next week, yeah. Any specific thing that you guys think of? We can open up my list that we talked about earlier. But if there is anything that you think is will be interesting, we can surely talk about it next week. Okay, so these are the topics that when we were making list a few weeks ago, we talked about the custom API, admin center API, automation API, Power Platform, where I have some needs to kind of go through it. We did cover majorly around the AI things into it from a developer perspective. If you want to see other examples and scenario, let me know. We did cover the Excel and the word layout in the previous sessions. The other topic that I have listed here from people is performance toolkit extension, to review that piece. Anything else, anyone?
Can we add one more point related to the migration or upgradation, please?
Uh, can you be a little bit more specific? I guess I have a lot of content around upgrades or migration specifically on YouTube, but if there is anything that's not available, let me know and we will be happy to kind of discuss that if needed.
Okay, I will review it. I'm already doing some migrations within app 2016 to the BC online version. So first we have to do it on the BC 14. So I'm currently on it. So let me see if I can, if I have any issues, I will just mention that particular piece of thing so that we can discuss it later.
Oh, sure, that's not a problem. No, upgrades anytime, whenever you guys say, that's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else, anyone, for the next week? Nothing? Okay. So I'll see you next week. I'll decide. I guess we have you guys seen the new release note for the upcoming release for Business Central? If not, I guess I have a look into it, and if somebody would like to discuss that, I'll be happy to kind of chat around it also. That's not a problem.
One more thing, there is some quality module is also coming, right? In the upcoming
I guess yes.
upgrades.
I'll have to read around the documentation of it if it's available on MSDN, Microsoft Learn and all, and then once it'll become available, I guess September-ish, when the previews are out, you can surely test it out how it works and what's expected out of it. Okay, so till now, I guess the next week plan would be to review what's available in the latest release note if you guys don't get time. And then I have some questions from people. Maybe I'll try to answer them next week, as we don't have any kind of planned agenda at this moment for the next week. If you think
Okay.
of anything, just let me know on the chat in the community. I'll be happy to kind of take advices from there if needed. Kunal, you were saying something?
No, no, it's okay.
Okay, then, guys, enjoy your weekend, and then I'll see you next week. You guys are here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, so if you're still here, hopefully you find something interesting into the session. Let me know into the comments what you think about it, and let me know how and what you're using with the vibe coding or coding with AI currently in your projects. Are you finding it interesting? What level of confidence you have, especially around event subscriber? Because the two attempts that we have made in this week and the last week, we failed to understand the performance of it, especially around the event subscriber. Rest, it's great, as in to begin to build a baseline of objects that are needed. It's great, but going further, it kind of hopefully matures, and maybe it have other MCPs which are available from GitHub and all, where it learns from all the base Microsoft code. Let me know your views into the comments to it, and if you have a topic in mind for the next week BC Open discussion, let me know also into the comments. You know the drill at this moment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel and share this video for people who are still struggling and figuring it out how AI can help them in their code. So I'll see you next week. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.